Oh shit! Guess what it is? It is one of those days where we're doing it. Ramblin with Rebel and Drew, and you can do it anytime we want. Why? Because it is our station. And tonight I'm gonna bring I'm gonna bring my little partner here, Drew, and we're gonna get to rambling because he's got a very, very, very special story tonight. Let me bring him in here. Drew, how the hell are you, my man?
Joe, what's up, man? I am great, brother. I am so happy to be here tonight. This is a very, very special opportunity to be with none other than Rebel Joe, Rambling with Rebel and Drew, and our very, very special guest tonight, my big sister, Cora Morse.
Going on?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, not much. Just been busy all day.
Right on, right on. Well, hey, we are officially live now. So let's just jump into this. So tell me your story about growing up with epilepsy. Like, what was that like for you?
Well, to be honest with you, I actually did not have my first seizure until I was 11 years old in class. I was in elementary school, I was in sixth grade, and I actually had my very first seizure. We went outside, to do PE and shit. Then we came back in, to read and everything. And then the book literally just started doing this. I didn't know what the hell was going on. And then after that, all I remember is coming at I had the worst migraine in the world. And then I thought oh shit, I fell asleep in class. I am so dead. But then I literally came out of it and I'm laying on the floor in front of my school with my entire class around me, the ambulance, the fire department, everybody just surrounding me. And I had no idea what was even going on.
Wow.
And for the longest time, I didn't even really know I was epileptic. And until, of course, I was diagnosed with it. But for the longest time, I didn't even know. I was not able to go through what I'm going through right now. Everyone kept telling me that they had no idea why I was having it. I was just having seizures and all these different things. And it wasn't until, I came here to California, with my husband that I finally was able to get what I need to get done. I mean, I finally found out it's actually genetic. The kind of epilepsy that I have is genetic, and it's also what they call refractory.
Okay.
And refractory basically means that it doesn't matter how many medications I'm on or how long I'm on them, it's not going to control the seizures at all.
Wow.
I've been on so many different medications that I can't even name half of them.
I mean, I'm very sorry to hear that. But I was actually just going to ask you what refractory meant, as far as what that entails, with your situation.
Well, there are some people that have epilepsy that once they're put on a certain medication or multiple medications that they are able to have their, seizures controlled. But
Right.
Then there's another percentage of us that have, again, what's called refractory epilepsy, where, you can be on, 2 or 3 different medications, for years or even months, but no matter what, the seizures just keep coming. They keep happening. Nothing can control them.
Wow. Well, so what was that like, when you found out it was genetic? And how did you deal with that? What was, your mindset, at that time?
Honestly, I was shocked because I personally don't know anybody on either side of my family that has any kind of seizure disorder at all. But, basically, I guess, there was probably a generation, back, that had some sort of an epileptic, disorder. And basically I got the shaft. So, yeah.
Yeah. That sucks so bad. So when it's genetic, so do they know exactly what may have caused it genetically? As far as was it something that happened in your life, as far as inherited from your parents, or?
Well, they say that when it comes to genetic epilepsy, it comes from the father's side rather than the mother's side. So there must have been somebody on my dad's side of the family, like I said, back before I was born and everything, that had a seizure disorder or was epileptic or had some sort of a neurological disorder.
Right.
And it was, passed down to me.
Wow. I mean, that's just crazy. I mean, but that, I mean, you're so strong for having to accept that, and then, of course, your journey leading up to now. I mean, I feel like because there's got to be things that must have been very hard for you before coming to California. I'm sure you had quite a few different things. So could you talk about that? What it was getting to where you're at now.
It was very, very difficult. See, my parents, they moved me and my brother around a lot, like all the time. Like we didn't stay anywhere longer than maybe 3.5, 4 years tops. So I wasn't able to get all of the actual, testing and everything that I needed because my parents moved me around so much. So for the longest time, I didn't know anything. I mean, I wasn't able to do the research that I needed to do. I mean, my parents were not horrible parents. I'm not saying that in any way at all. But, they really didn't do very much to actually help me understand my disorder. It wasn't until Matthew and I, found each other again, and we've been together for, God, 18 years now.
That's incredible, and
It's actually because of him that I am where I am right now. Because like I said, for the longest time, everybody made fun of me because my seizures are not controlled. So you never know when I back when I was younger, I never knew when I was going to have one
right.
because I didn't know the signs like I do now.
Well, I do want to say on behalf of all of Reckless Radio XYZ, you should have never been made fun of or put down because of that. It is not your fault. It's not anything you did or anything that, it within you that you caused it in any way, shape, or form. And we're very, very sorry that that happened to you. That's super, super messed up. It should have never happened. But you know what? You are a survivor. You're literally a warrior. I mean, the entire time you've been through this, I mean, every time I talk to you, I mean, you don't seem like you're ever down. I mean, really, you just seem like you're just going through it. Like you're not letting it phase you, which I think is a huge thing because, and really, I feel like we need to touch on the fact that we all in some way, shape, or form, whether it be illnesses, diseases, disabilities, anything along those lines, you know don't blame yourself or feel like you did anything to cause this to happen to you, or that it's your fault in some way, or that you deserve this, or anything like that, or feeling like you're not good enough, you know because you are worth it. And there are people out there who do relate to you. And, even though certain conditions I'm sure can be, maybe a little bit more difficult, as far as it's harder to relate in certain ways, but just know that you're not alone. And there are people out there that support you, that love you, and will be there for you through the whole entire time, whatever that means for your situation. Definitely reach out to my sister Cora here. And Cora, I am so happy that we have you on the show tonight.
Happy to be on the show. I really am.
And
And it's not just epilepsy, because there's a lot of people out there that don't understand being on so many different medications throughout the years. It actually causes depression. I know there's a lot of people out there that, have depression and don't even know why. I mean, and I can honestly relate to that because the medications, the seizures, I mean, everything, it really, it can put you down a lot of times. Like there are days I mean, I always try to stay as positive as I can, especially for my children, because unfortunately, they had to learn seizure awareness at a very, very young age when they should have never had to. And to be honest with you, they are miracle babies because,
Or I
like, I had to take extra folic acids, I had to take extra vitamins, I had to take all kinds of different things, to make sure that my babies, were healthy. And with all three of my pregnancies, I had to be on bed rest for the last 3 to 4 months of my pregnancies because of my epilepsy. With my second child, with my second daughter Danielle, I almost lost her 8 different times because
wow.
of how many seizures I had. And with my youngest, my son, I got very sick with him as well. I got very sick. I became iron deficient, magnesium deficient, and I honestly don't really remember very much on the last couple of months of my pregnancy due to the fact. And see, I have what's called right temporal lobe epilepsy because they have right temporal lobe, left temporal lobe, and there's focal. And see, I have what's called right temporal lobe epilepsy, and the right side of the brain controls memory and speech. So
Okay.
I have both long term and short term memory. I stutter a lot, I space out a lot. And, people, would look at me funny for that, like, for, that happening to me. And that's not something I can really help.
Right.
And that's why I am really hoping that I'm able to get, this special surgery, because the doctors have told me multiple times that if I am not able to have this, these, special surgeries and everything, I could basically develop dementia by the time I'm 45.
Wow. Well, I mean, and that's very very great that you're touching on the surgery that you are about to go through.
Well,
So
I'm seeing my neurosurgeon on Thursday. And so I'm basically going to find out whether I'm able to have what's called a laser therapy surgery or a VNS or an RNS.
so
But I'm hoping for the laser therapy.
right. So can you explain between the RNS and the, I think you said VNS, right?
Yes. The
Okay.
VNS is almost like a pacemaker for your brain. They like put this little thing in your shoulder, and
Mm.
then it connects to the brain. And when it senses a seizure coming on, it basically snaps you out of it.
Okay.
And then an RNS is just something that I recently found out about. Basically, it's almost the same thing, but it goes between the skull, like basically between the skull and the brain, and does the same thing. But I guess it's not as dangerous as the actual VNS itself.
Okay. So then, so the difference between those two procedures versus the laser. So can you explain like what entails that?
Well, the lit laser therapy is new, especially the technology here in California for neurosurgery.
Big sister, are you there?
She cut out. I don't know what kind of connection there is over there. I think she might be coming back.
Can you guys see me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're back.
Okay, I wasn't sure. But lit laser therapy, it's something new that I've actually just been reading about for the past couple of months. From what I've gathered, they basically have like a 3D image of your actual brain, the part of the brain where the seizures are coming from,
Right.
and more safe because they actually like they have like a so they'll basically see like a part of the specific part of the brain where the seizures are coming from, and they actually take like an actual laser, I guess you can say, and like kind of only gets rid of that specific part versus actually having to have like the surgery where they actually cut you open and remove that, because that's actually more dangerous, because it could actually, like, for example, when I was in Las Vegas, when I lived in Las Vegas a few years ago, that's when I was actually, my neurologist was Samar Bangalore. He's a very good neurologist. And if he would have had to actually cut me open, I would have had a 60% chance of becoming mute.
Wow.
Because laser therapy versus actually having to be cut open and actually cut out that specific part of the brain.
That's crazy. I mean, at least you don't have to go through. Oh, big sister, can
Huh? She back. She back.
okay,
Okay.
okay, yes. So I mean, well, at least you don't have to go through the actual surgery. Thank God that you don't have to, endure that. I mean, that's way too risky to do.
It was very risky, and that's why I told him, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do that.
Good, good. I'm so glad.
That's basically why we moved to California, because Matthew wanted me to have, the best, care that I could get, and California is the best place to have that. So he wanted us to move here, so I could have these, the testing and everything that I needed done to find out, if I can have this specific procedure, so I could actually become seizure free.
That's beautiful. And you know what? And I just have to say, I know he's not in the room, but Matt, when you see this, just know, brother, thank you. I love you. You know what I mean? Matt, you know that you're the best. And I am so happy for you guys, for your relationship, your marriage, your family.
He's been my rock throughout all these years. I mean, he is the one who has been my rock.
Right.
He is the one that has always been there. Single appointment. He's been there for me, through, I mean, even my nocturnal seizures, because I also have nocturnal seizures, which is basically seizures in my sleep.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And nocturnal seizures are actually extremely dangerous, because that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand is when refractory epilepsy and nocturnal seizures and everything like that are more dangerous, because you can actually suffer what's called a sudden unexpected death in epilepsy.
Wow.
It's very, very dangerous.
I can't even put words to that. I mean, that's wow. Well,
There's a lot of people that have suffered from that. No doctor has actually been able to figure out why that even happens. But that actually does happen to a lot of people that have, and it doesn't even have to be epilepsy. It can be any kind of seizure disorder. I mean, you don't actually have to be born with epilepsy.
Big sister.
Yeah, she got out again.
Oh, okay. Can you? Am I back?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So, well, I mean, you know what? And I'm glad that you said that it's not just epilepsy, and especially because what we're trying to do with this show, and especially for anyone who's tuning in right now.
Yeah, you're kind of breaking up. I can't really hear you too well.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Okay, now I can. Now you were breaking up there for a minute.
Oh, okay.
It's chorus connection because it's still clear on my end here. So it's chorus connection that's coming in and out. So I'll let you guys continue.
All right, got you, Jojo.
Okay, yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi right now, so I'm not sure if I should turn my Wi-Fi off, or I'm not sure.
No, I mean, I think we can just stick with this, and I mean, if it ends up becoming a problem, we can always, we can just try again. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I mean, so what I wanted to say was, with this show, just so everyone that's tuning in understands. So the topic of this show tonight is epilepsy and seizure awareness. But this also can be, when it comes down to it, that we're going to try our hardest to make sure that hopefully by addressing this, this will get to the right people where they can actually really start to try to figure out, better ways to handle this. And so that way people don't have to suffer in the way that you have, and hopefully we can make a difference with that, as well as for anyone that is tuning in. Just so you know, if you ever want anyone to talk to about this, or anyone that you feel like would maybe understand you a little bit more, please reach out to my sister Cora here.
You can reach out to me anytime. Anybody who is suffering any kind of a neurological disorder, it doesn't have to be seizures or anything of the sort, any kind of neurological disorder, just reach out to me anytime that you need to. I mean, because I know how it feels to have any kind of disorder whatsoever, and people just not understanding and not even wanting to take the time to understand. And,
Absolutely.
I know how that feels, and it's very, very difficult. It is not easy at all. Because for a very long time, I kept myself in a bubble, and I was honestly too afraid to even tell anybody what was wrong with me, because I had been judged my whole life because of it.
Well, hey, you know what, with this show though, and just so everyone understands, the other thing that is so real about this, and I'm glad that Cora that you said it earlier. You know what, to anyone out there who bullies people, whether it be based on their medical condition, or if it's a disability or a disease or illness or anything along those lines, just know they're not the problem. And maybe it's you who should actually have more of an understanding heart, because someone like this, who has been going through something their whole lives and are now dedicating themselves to truly helping others, I really hope that anyone watching who maybe has ever bullied anyone for any reason, hopefully now you have a better understanding, and hopefully you can be now more supportive and help us in the fight to change things when it comes to epilepsy, seizures, any type of disability or illness.
Epilepsy, seizures, depression. Trust me. I mean, anybody needs to reach out. You can reach out to me anytime, because I completely understand. I know how it feels for people to look at you funny and just think, what the hell, what is wrong with you? Why are you looking at me? Why are you staring at me? Why are you stuttering? What is wrong with you? People like that aren't even worth being around, because they're not taking the time to at least ask and understand. I
Right.
know how that feels. I really do. And to be honest with you, I'm still on depression medication, because when you're on these types of neurological, medications, they actually do cause depression. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. When I first found out that I had this disorder and wasn't sure what it was, why I even had it, what was causing it, or anything, I won't lie. At one point in time when I was very young, I used to cut myself because of it. I actually did. And I know that there's probably a lot of people that can relate to this. I actually did at one point in time try to kill myself.
And and I'm glad that you brought that up, because of the fact that, things such as this, a lot of times people do feel so alone and feel isolated and feel like their life isn't even worth it anymore because of their condition, or because everyone around them doesn't understand, or they just feel like it'll never get better, like they'll never be able to live a good life. And it's so sad, because you know what, as much as we understand that the pain is what seems unbearable, but you know what, I promise you, in the long run, life is worth living, especially when, just to put this out there, and Cora and I have been talking about this for a long time. Sometimes, and here's the truth within the Juggalo underground, is sometimes family isn't always blood. Family is not always the people that you were born into. As a matter of fact, you get to choose your family. You get to choose the people that you spend your life with. So, with that said, It's like, if you ever need anyone to be there for you, just understand that there are people out here who genuinely care, who do love you, are ready to accept you for who you are. We will never down, and
There
things
is
like,
no judgment here. Never.
and
There will
things.
never be any judgment, no matter what it is.
Absolutely. And that's why, like, to be honest, I mean, and thank you, Dreamcatcher. I love you, bro. Elza, Ninja. Um, but when it comes down to this, man, it really, and you know what, and I'm glad that Dreamcatcher just came in the chat, man, because here's the thing. Cora and myself, I mean, we have so many people around us who show so much love and support and understanding. And it's like, none of us are blood to each other, but guess what? We might as well be. You know what I mean? Because
Exactly.
we have that love for one another, and we're there for each other with things like this, that we're not there to judge you or put you down or laugh
No.
or not want to hear what the way that you feel. You know what I mean? Like, we are here. We do care. That's why this show, Reckless Radio XYZ, this show tonight, I hope proves one point. And that's that, yes, the music is what helps our station thrive, right? But in the same breath, we do things like this with my sister.
We're not just friends, we're family.
Absolutely. And we're here
All
to
family.
And we're here to address so many different things in life, whether it be things such as like this, like epilepsy and seizure awareness. I mean, or it could be, for instance, really soon we're going to be addressing things with like autism, people who were born with intellectual and developmental disabilities. I mean, and so many different things, so it's this.
Autism, schizophrenia, all of that. You know what? I understand that because you know what? My brother, he's bipolar and he's also, schizophrenic.
Right.
He's my younger brother. And a lot of people, they used to make fun of him too. And honestly, because of, his disorder and everything like that, I mean, he's not a very social person at all. He never was. I mean, he used to have his problem. I mean, he's grown a lot, but I mean, he, when he was younger, also had blackouts and things like that, things he could not control. And even with his medication, regardless, I mean, there were times where, he literally just would black out. Mentally he was gone, but physically he was doing things that he really wasn't even trying to do. And that's what people need to understand. There are times where we just can't. It's not something we can literally control. It's not. I mean, because it's not something we can help. We were born with these disorders. I mean, we didn't ask for it. I mean, we didn't look and be like, well, you know what? I want to just go ahead and have this. Why not? No, it's not something that we wanted. It's something that, we were born with and that we can't control.
Absolutely. And actually, I want you to look down. If you see the red strip here, look at what it says right now. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
I told you. I told you this is what we were going to do.
And you know what? I can't tell you how much I really appreciate this. Like I'm still like at a loss for words, to be honest.
See, this is
It's about the community. It's about the community, man.
absolutely. And I love that JoJo came in to say it, because here's the other thing. Just so everybody knows, when I first came into this, right, I never thought in a million years that I could do something like this. But JoJo believed in me. Now, here's the thing, guys. JoJo didn't know me from John on the street. You know what I mean? But he believed in me enough to back me and to give me the opportunity to do this. And me and him have such a similar mindset where he's told me every time, he's like, yo, Drew, I can do the tech stuff. I can also do like the advertising. Like, I know all the stuff that goes into this, but it's really the people who are set.
Oh, you're absolutely right. No one asks for ADD or ADHD. My brother has that too.
Absolutely.
My
And
brother has that too. Nobody asks for this. This is just something that we're born with and we cannot help it. And people need to stop judging for that.
absolutely. And Deuce, I see you, bro. I love you, man. And actually, I'm so glad Deuce is here, because him and I were talking about this earlier. He really wanted to be here for this. So, Deuce, love you, bro.
I'm glad that you're here. Definitely. I'm glad that all of you guys are here. And I've just, again, thank you. Honestly, thank you. I
Thank
mean, I've,
Well, big sister, as much as we appreciate that, thanks, but it's really not thank us, it's thank you. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for coming on to talk about this because
oh,
really, this is our dream is like, as far as we want to help make a difference with things like this. Like, as far as we even hope that maybe people that are in the medical field that watch this want to go back to their hospitals and say, hey, we need to address this. Like, we need to do something to contribute to this, to make it better. So hopefully, as much as I'm not saying it'll be an overnight fix or cure, but hopefully as time goes on, things will get better and more progressive and
that's
hopefully
definitely what I'm hoping for. What I'm hoping for.
and that's what we want. That's literally what the goal is because like we said earlier, this is not just about music. We're here to literally make the community as amazing as it can be. You know what I mean? By doing things like this and showing people that it's not just about the artists. This is about the
Gosh,
community.
man, thank you. All I want to do is help. All I want to do is be able to be there, for anybody who's suffering from anything. I mean, I know this is definitely epilepsy awareness, and like I said, I understand it. I get it. I've literally I've had grand mal seizures. I've had clusters. I actually about 2 years ago went into what they call status epilepticus, and that's like the most dangerous you could have. Basically, I think they said 30 seizures within like 40 minutes or something like that. I had to be rushed to the hospital. They had to give me, I think, what they called epinephrine to actually get me out of the seizures. And I was in the hospital for 3 days.
Holy shit.
Status epilepticus is actually extremely dangerous because, I mean, see, the reason why is because usually when you have a seizure or you're going into clusters, usually seizures, depending on the seizure, to that person lasts at least like 3 to 10 seconds, at least to the person that to you, when you're suffering from that, it feels like so much longer and it is painful. Like the pain cannot even be described. But I mean, like after you have that seizure, your body, takes a few minutes, or not a few minutes, but a couple of seconds to a minute to recover from that, and then you'll go into another seizure. Well, when it comes to status, your body doesn't recover. You're just going into seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure, and that is extremely dangerous. That can actually kill you.
Wow. Well, I mean, I am so truly sorry that happened, sis. I mean, that's terrible.
It was very, very scary, and it was so painful. And see, another thing is migraines. Epilepsy and seizures cause very, very bad migraines. It literally feels like somebody's taking two metal needles and just digging them into your temples, and it won't stop. Like if I could, okay, if anybody has seen the first Saw movie, where that girl has that metal rod, like box thing around her head, and it's just digging and it's digging and it's digging. That's
Right.
exactly what it feels like. Just imagine metal just digging into the temples and not stopping.
Wow.
There were actually seizures that I've had where I've ended up in the hospital. I couldn't even open my eyes. Like literally, I physically could not open my eyes. It hurt so bad.
I I can't even imagine that. I mean, I'm really sorry that you had to endure that. I mean, no one should ever be put through things like that. I mean, that's horrible.
I've
Um,
actually I've actually bit the sides of my cheeks. I've bit like I've bit parts of my tongue off.
I remember that.
I've actually chipped. Like I don't even have very good teeth. I mean, you can't see, but I've actually chipped. I've chipped back teeth here. I've chipped teeth down here. I have chipped teeth from the epilepsy, from the seizures. I actually, because my jaw will lock up and my teeth will start grinding and I can't stop it. So I actually like this. It's mainly this side of my mouth that is very, very weak. Like I can't eat on this side at all.
Wow. I mean, I'm so sorry to hear that.
My enamel is so weakened that I actually don't like smiling. It's very embarrassing. My enamel from all of the iron deficiencies and the magnesium deficiencies, all of that have actually weakened not just my enamel but my bones too. Like I'm not as strong as I used to be. Like literally, I am like they've talked about what is it called where your bones weaken to the point, like I guess osteoporosis, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I that's actually something that I can actually start developing.
Wow. I mean, I am so sorry to hear that. I mean, hopefully that never happens, honestly.
Oh, it's already started, honestly. Like I'm not as strong as I used to be at all.
I'm sorry to hear that, sis. That sucks so bad. Um, I mean, it's just, it blows my mind. I mean, I just really hope that, with this show, hopefully this will pressure, you know, the medical field to hopefully, come up with more to be able to,
It's not that the medical field has actually come up with a lot. It's just the different states, because there are certain states
right,
that you get no neurological, you know, basically there's no neurological help that you need. Like for example, we lived in Florida for about 5 years. I was able to get my medications, but as far as actual testing, didn't happen.
wow.
The
See,
only places that actually have really good neurological surgeons and neurologists and stuff are here in California,
right,
South Carolina, I think,
okay,
and Chicago. I could be wrong, but I mean, there's only a select few states that actually have, the actual testings and the neurologists that need, that you need. And,
wow,
and sometimes, depending on the state, you can't even pay for your medications. Sometimes you're, depending on the insurance you're on, you have copays and you can't even pay for the medication.
that's so messed up. That's crazy. Well, I mean, I'm glad that at least, the medical field is progressive to a point. I definitely want to give a huge shout out to the hospital where you're at in California there.
Yes, D.
Anyone that works there, you guys are amazing. Thank you for everything you guys do.
Two
Keep up.
neurosurgeons that everybody has to thank. Dr. Benham, she was the one who performed my surgery, and then Dr. Shi, he's in the other near. I mean, they are the two, literally the two best neurosurgeons and neurologists in the United States, and I am lucky enough to actually be a part of their. I'm lucky enough to be their patients.
Right.
Because I honestly thought that I would never be able to even know where, be where I am right now.
That's amazing. And that's all because of your husband, which
Yes.
is,
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be where I am right now.
and honestly, guys, I can even tell you from meeting Matt myself face to face, this man is beyond amazing. He is like, I can't even bring words to really describe my brother Matt over there. And truly, I could.
He should be home here soon. Actually, he got off at 5:30, so he should be walking through the door here soon.
Well, hopefully, if he can walk in while we're still on here, then we can definitely show the crowd, just who is the brains behind everything. Want to give credit to my brother. So all right, let's see what's happening. And yes, Rome, you're absolutely right. And actually, now that Rome commented, there's another one of our ninjas that I think he wanted to be on here in the chat. I mean, I haven't seen his name pop up yet. But I did want to tell you, big sister, because this is unreal. Especially as we are talking about, people with disabilities, as well as representing anyone with intellectual and developmental disabilities of any kind. our ninja Charles Calhoun. As of this morning, um, he has now had 21 years representing Best Buddies International and Best Buddies Arizona.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, so we found that out earlier, and I know he wanted me to share that, especially because he's going to be hopefully. I don't know if I could say our next guest, but hopefully sometime soon we can make that happen. So
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We need to do that.
yeah, because he's going to come on here. We're going to actually have. Now I know JoJo. We haven't really said this yet. I want to bring Blaze on with.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it'd be a perfect time to introduce my kid there to the world. He's been helping me on a few podcasts. He helped me with Scum, Humble Among, Schizo Michigan. He sat in, asked a couple of questions here and there, but I'm going to be bringing him in alongside here, and Drew's going to give him a little boost there and help him get going.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And I'm so proud to do that for Blaze, because I'll tell you what, guys, my little homie Blaze, that's my little ninja, man. Like, just so you guys know, he's coming up on Reckless, man. He's rocking with us to the fullest. And he did something for me that really, really touched my heart. When Joe got injured, Blaze reached out to me and expressed everything to me, as well as talked to me about trying to help make either like a show or, something happen positively, on behalf of Joe. And for that, Blaze, I love you, little ninja. Man, you're with us, bro. You're family. So I'm very proud to work with you.
I know that you and I, Joe, don't really know each other, I like pretty much at all, but I do apologize, for your injury and everything. I don't know exactly what caused it, but I'm glad you're okay.
For me, it was something. The universe was telling me to slow down. I was doing way too much. We've touched base on a couple of my things on last episode. We're gonna dive into my 90s next time. But
Yes.
for me, autism was touching my heart because my son is autistic, Blaze. So for me, it was to find somewhere where he can fit in and actually feel good about himself, and do something good, because I'm always doing this. So and for him to get involved, it's just the greatest thing there is.
Yes, definitely. And again, he's not alone. I have so many people in my family that are autistic, and I get it. I understand. I've got people in my family that are autistic, diabetic. I actually had my aunt, my uncle, and my grandmother die. Well, my aunt died of pancreatic cancer, and then my uncle died of full blown AIDS and hepatitis C. And
Jeez.
then my grandmother, she had dementia and Alzheimer's.
That's the worst. I mean,
And
that's to watch.
I would have to say she died of a broken heart, because see, even though she was kind of turning into 10-second Tom, I guess you could say, what people don't understand is it doesn't matter if you have Alzheimer's or dementia, you can still feel it.
Absolutely.
Even though people are looking at you and you cry for 2 seconds and then think you're totally someone else, you can still feel it, it. And when she found out that first my aunt died and then my uncle died, as soon as she found out that my uncle died, according to her nurses, like, she just stopped. She didn't take her walks anymore, she wasn't herself anymore, and she died in her sleep.
I'm so sorry to hear that. That sucks so bad.
I have a lot of family members that have cancer and that are dying of cancer. And the same with Matthew. He also has family members. Like 4 years ago to the day, his aunt died of stage 4 liver cancer.
Wow. I'm so truly sorry to hear that.
It's been very tough, and I was extremely close. We were all extremely close to her, and we were very close to my grandmother. I was extremely close to my uncle and my aunt, but I hadn't seen my aunt in like 10 years. And so it killed me, to know that I wasn't even able to talk to her, or at least tell her how much I loved her before she passed. So it hurt very much. It still does.
Well, see, here's the beautiful thing though about, sometimes when we think that way, as far as, it does hurt where you wish you could have told those people those things. But you know what? I like to think that, especially in the native culture, and I know Dreamcatcher knows this, and so many others within the native culture as well, that honestly, the ancestors, believe it or not, know things about you that you want to say before you can ever express it. And honestly, those ancestors continue to watch over. As a matter of fact, I mean, there's even things such as the beauty of, if you ever see a bald eagle, or if you ever see butterflies, if you ever see horses, if you ever see like buffalo. I mean, just so many different things in life that are almost considered reincarnations.
I
Uh,
completely understand that because on my mother's side, I have Cherokee on my mother's side, and I'm always seeing butterflies. And every time I see butterflies, I know that it's my aunt and my grandmother. I know it because my aunt loved, I think it was yellow butterflies that she loved the most, and I'm always seeing yellow butterflies and white butterflies. So I know that that's her, and I know that it's my grandmother too.
and I'm so happy to hear you say that, because I'll even share this with you. So my grandfather, man, this man was the one person in my life who literally changed my whole entire perspective of life. So when he passed away, I was going through hell as a kid. I was super depressed at the time. And when he passed, I for a long time I thought it was my fault, man. Like I was like, because I wasn't there. Like I know I could have protected him. I know that for a fact, because when I used to live with him, anytime he ever would fall or like have an accident, I was literally right there with him. Like I could like catch him, I could grab him, whatever, And that day that he died, for a minute I used to blame myself, and I was like, it's my fault. It's my fault that happened and I wasn't there. I didn't stop it. But
It
then
hurts. It
the
hurts a lot.
But then a couple weeks later, after he passed, this is the part that really got me. So out back of our house, these butterfly bushes we have, I swear, almost every time I go outside, it brings a smile to my face, because I have seen not just butterflies, but even, get this, we have I want to say they're called hummingbirds, I believe.
Yes.
Now check this out. My grandfather, he used to weld and make stuff that you wouldn't even believe. I mean, he's made jewelry, he's made mirrors. I mean, there's just so much stuff this guy has done in his life when he was here with us. And the one day, this hummingbird came right at our back door and just stood there, like just flying up and down, like just, but wouldn't leave the door.
That
And
was him. That was him right there with you, telling you, hey, I love you. This is not your fault. And he's your guardian angel.
and
He'll
that's
always be there to watch over you.
and that's why sometimes, especially even in the hardest times of like what you've been going through, I can tell you there's ancestors and relatives that are watching over you. They're guiding you, they're protecting you, and they're not going to let anything that shouldn't happen let it happen. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be there for you, and that's why, I mean, when it comes down to doing things like this, it's almost as if like this was destiny in the making. You know what I'm saying? And like almost like they predicted this long before we ever did, you know?
I
And
hear
so,
you there.
and that's why I even get this. I want to share a very special little something about our boy Deuce, that's with us. And Deuce, you know this. I know you listening, bro. Um, so when I first jumped on with Reckless, Deuce was going through a very, very difficult time. Had a lot that happened, and he just lost his spark for a long time. And when Joe brought me on, he asked me one thing that just really hit my heart. And he was like, "Hey man, I know you don't know him, but like, could you just like try to like, in any way just help motivate him, just help him get himself back a little bit." And every chance I get, I swear, from the moment I met this man, it's like I am so incredibly honored to be like, you know what? This show isn't even about me, y'all. And I'm being real about it. Like, I know a lot of people that watch me are like, "Oh, Drew, you did great." And it's like, yo, okay, thank you. That means the world to hear that. but it's not just about me. Honestly, Joe put this together. He brought us on here, and he gave me the opportunity that I never thought could happen. And now it's like, of all people, I'm working with two Canadian ninjas that are my elders, bro. Like the guys I look up to, like the guys I look at, I'm like, I'm working alongside of two of the most amazing people in the underground I've ever met. And it's like, I'm speechless. Like, I don't know what to say other than thank you and I love you. And that's why I do. So you know, I got you. You know what I mean? So,
You know what? I love you guys very much, and I just want to say again, thank you so much for having me on here. I really do thank you guys so much.
well, hey, this is our honor.
I mean, the support, it's amazing, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I really, really do.
And we know you do, but you know what? This is our honor to have you on here with us. You know, because
without people like her, there wouldn't be no community.
absolutely. And you know what, big sister? You are the center of the family that we have. And that's an honor for us because of the fact that you can help inspire and motivate so many people worldwide, especially right now. And I know, Joe, you know this. With all of our apps worldwide, internationally, we are broadcasting, and it's like people around the world are watching us, are hearing us, but more importantly, hearing and seeing you. And that's the best accomplishment of all time.
Again, just speechless.
Well,
But you know what? I put up a couple links down below, purpleday.org. I have just one here that's in the video now. Epilepsy, make a difference, public awareness. So hopefully we can, just keep the momentum going and just keep going. And anybody else who feels that they want to talk, just contact Drew, man. We'll put you on. It's all about the community, but the people behind the artists, man.
Exactly.
Anyone and everyone, man. You know, this is my dream. Like, literally, and I'll even tell you this. Joe knows this. Every time we hit each other up, it's just like, let's go, man. Like, let's do it. Let's make it happen right now. Let's go. You know, and it's just like, it's so much fun because it's like, it's not just about Reckless Radio XYZ. It's about literally making a difference in the world. And that's what we're here for.
Exactly. I want to make a difference. I want to be there and help people that don't feel like they have the support that they need. I don't want anybody to have to feel alone, regardless of whether it's epilepsy, autism, schizophrenia, whatever.
Absolutely.
I don't want them to feel lonely because they shouldn't have to.
And you're absolutely right, sis. They shouldn't have to, but you know what? Now hearing you coming on here, listening to your story, you know what? I guarantee you, and I am very sure, within the next couple of days to even the next few months when this goes up on all of our platforms, best believe there's gonna be so many people reaching out just saying, thank you so much for coming on here. Like, honestly, like I never thought someone could understand me or could relate to me, or even just someone who actually genuinely cares, you know. And so that's a dream come true.
Well,
Yeah,
how do you expect someone to care for you if you can't even care for others?
exactly. And you know what? And that's the goal here. That's the dream is, you know, it's like for us, I mean, me and Joe even say this all the time. We never knew what the hell we were doing from the very beginning, but you know what we did know? If there's one dream, one goal in mind, to just make a difference in this world and to show people that, you know what, if you didn't think you could do it, look at us. You know what I mean? We never thought this shit could happen. And look at us now. You know what I mean? We're here. So it's like, if we can do it, guess what? I want everyone out there to know if we can do it,
So can you.
that's
And
amazing.
there he is.
And man,
Yeah, it's my interview.
Oh, okay, cool.
oh wait, is he there?
He's here. He just walked through the door.
Okay. Well, hey guys, Real special little treat. We're about to meet my brother-in-law, honestly. Um, and I want to thank the man that's responsible for all of this. I want everyone to meet him because this is my main man right here. And I love this man so much, y'all. Y'all don't even know, man. When
This
hearing
man right here, if it was not for him, I would not be where I am right now. This
How's
is
it
the
going,
love of
guys?
my life right here.
this man right here, let me tell y'all something. Matt is the most amazing man I have ever met. I truly give you all the respect in the world, brother.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Drew.
Absolutely, man. Because you know what? Thanks to you, my sister is here with us. She's stronger than ever. You guys are going to have an amazing life together. And when you guys come here to Delaware, we're going to do a little special something, something.
Sounds good. Heck yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
See,
what a privilege to let her get to her family there. Her man just came in. Just great way for us to just leave this on.
It's all good. He's gonna go ahead and watch his game and everything. He's gonna chill. He just had a long day at work, he's just gonna chill and hang out.
yeah. And I mean, and he's quite the gamer, y'all. So if y'all ever,
Yes, he is. He is all about sports. He loves sports.
yeah, man. And hey, and you know what? And he's also into surfing, which I absolutely love that. So
Yeah, he's been wanting to learn to surf forever. But
that's what I'm here for.
yeah, I mean, if anybody has any questions or just wants to know, all you got to do is ask.
Absolutely. And actually, I know we didn't exactly touch on it a lot, but the surgery that you just went through, about a month ago. So what was that like, as far as like, can you explain what went into that?
Well, it's what they call a stereo EEG because normal EEGs, of course, you just have the electrodes placed on top of your head and
Right.
then, they, record brain waves. Well, see, my seizures are coming from so deep in my brain that the regular EEGs just were not picking up the data that they needed.
Right.
So basically, what a stereo EEG is that they take a long, like spaghetti thin metal rod with electrodes wrapped around them, and they have to drill through your actual skull and put the electrodes in your brain. So that was the surgery, and that surgery alone takes about 6 hours. And then after that, they slowly take you off the medication. So because you have to have at least 7 seizures so they can find out exactly where they're coming from and pinpoint them.
Right.
Well, I didn't have 7. I actually had 18.
It's just that, I mean, that's just unreal.
And it's crazy because what, because right after, because see that the electrodes have to stay in, that you have to be in the hospital and they have to stay in. So once they're implanted, they wrap your head up and you have the cords hanging out the back of your head, and you basically have to stay in bed and everything. And as with each seizure, they're recording your brain waves and everything. They have to record everything. And the thing is, like, from my experience, like it was very painful because like the whole right side of my jaw was just in nothing but pain. I was in constant pain. I couldn't taste anything. I could barely eat. I could barely sleep. I mean, it had to be the most painful procedure I've ever had in my entire life. Like, it was just, I don't wish it upon anybody. Honestly, if there is anybody out there right now that's having any kind of epileptic disorder at all, I hope that your seizures are able to be controlled, and
Right.
that you're not going through what so many others are. Because like the only way, because if your seizures are coming that from so deep to where they have to do that, it is a very painful process. And the doctor did tell me that when I last year, when I first spoke, when he first spoke to me about this, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, just so you know, this is going to be a very difficult process. This is not going to be easy. This is your choice if you want to do this, but it will gather the data that we need to find out if you can actually become seizure free. And I told him, you know what, do what you have to do. I know it's going to be painful. I know it's not going to be easy, but you know what? I've already been climbing too many mountains to fall now. So I'll do it. So of course, as you can tell, they had to completely shave my head completely down. They had to mark every part, and usually it's from 5 to 20 electrodes, that they actually place all throughout your brain, mainly the part where they're coming from. I had exactly 19 inside. I had exactly 19 electrodes inside my actual brain.
I mean, that's just incredible. I mean, but I'm so happy that at least you went through it, because now they have the data that they needed. And hopefully, with your neurosurgeon on Thursday, they can actually tell you for sure, and hopefully.
That's definitely what I'm hoping. I'm hoping and praying that I get the good news that we've all been hoping for.
Right, right. Well, hey, on behalf of all of Reckless Radio XYZ, all of our supporters, everybody that, has been just contacting us, has been commenting, everything like that. I'm sure everyone wants to say we wish you all the absolute best in the world. That hopefully on Thursday you will call me, and
I will keep everybody posted. I will keep everyone posted on what goes down on Thursday, definitely.
I am so happy to hear that.
I'm going back to UCSD in La Jolla. My appointment's at 2:30, so I will definitely, like, as soon as I know what's going on, and I know what's going to happen, you guys will definitely be the first to know. Definitely.
I'm so glad to hear that, because honestly, we definitely want to know what happens. And if there's anything that we can do to help in any way, please let us know.
You already are. Just being able to talk with you guys and tell my story, or whatever questions you guys have, being able to talk about this, it helps. And I mean, and that's with anybody, autism, epilepsy, anything of the sort, just being there and being able to have someone to talk to and just vent to, it helps so much. Because again, a lot of people don't understand, and some people don't even want to take the time to understand.
Right.
And when you're able to actually at least try and listen and try to understand what this person is going through, it helps more than people can even imagine.
And I'm so glad to hear that. And that's what we're here for. And honestly, I mean, that's why even, and this is a goal of me and Joe's right now. So just so you know, which I am so proud to say, it's just because I know if they could be in the chat right now, they would be. Shout out to the sisters, the Desmona sisters, correction, to Lilith the Simple and HP the Grizzly. The reason being is because the Desmona Sirens have a story very similar, as far as things that they've been through, things they're still continuing to go through, and that's what they use their music to actually express that to the world. And
Music helps it so much. Music helps more than what people understand.
absolutely, and that's why, and I'm so honored to say it's just because me and Joe.
Go ahead and go in here, honey. That way you can watch your game. You
Uh,
sure? No, yeah. I gotta take my medication and everything, so I'll go ahead and move in here, love. So you can go ahead and watch your game. I'm just gonna move myself here into the living room so he can watch his game.
okay, all right, that's no problem. But
Go ahead and get the light turned on here.
but I wanted to say we have a goal.
Oh, then can I move to your room? Yeah, okay. Oh, it's okay. JJ can play his game. It's all good. It's okay. So biggie.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Fast food, so that's why I'm listening to music.
Okay,
I
honey.
just feel the music mood.
Which, just so everyone knows, that is my nieces Destiny and Danielle, and my nephew JJ. So just so everyone knows that. That's who you heard in the background there, and they are absolutely amazing, and I love them very much. Beautiful.
Yeah, he's playing on the Xbox right now, so he's gonna be very loud.
It's okay. It's no problem. But I will tell everybody though, we have a goal with underground. Don't get the credit that they deserve, and their stories are not heard the way they deserve to be. And so, because of that, myself and Joe have been in constant communication about it. And honestly, even coming soon, and we're gonna speak on it. Chloe Kills, which is another female artist here in the underground who works with Lilith and Holly, is soon going to be with us. As a matter of fact, and as a little snippet for everybody, come May 19th, there is a show going on in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice. Okay.
It is called the Underground United 7th Annual. And so that is bringing together all of LSP as up to our whole family. And of course, all of GRE, my boys. And with that comes along with the Desmona Sirens, Chloe Kills, and so many other female artists. But I won't give away a lot because there's still some stuff to come. But
Oh wow, Danielle, that's really good.
But when it comes down to it, our goal is to definitely let these females be heard more than they have been, simply because we hope that when it comes down to it, a lot of women feel like that they don't really get the chance to voice the things that they're going through as well as their stories. And it's like, because of that, here on Reckless Radio XYZ, we want to make that a priority.
Definitely. Definitely. As I've said again, just go ahead and add me on Instagram or whatever. And if you just need someone to vent to and you want to talk, hit me up anytime.
Absolutely.
Hit me up anytime because, again, I understand. I totally get it.
That's why I love this woman so much, because when me and Big Sister very first talked, I mean, I was really nervous, because like a lot of times, like in the underground, it's very hard, to really express yourself to people that you don't really know like that. And when her and I met, it was just absolute love. And it's like, I couldn't be more thankful to have the most amazing big sister I could ever dream of.
That's all I'll ever show is love. I don't judge anybody. I'm not a judgmental person because I know how it feels to be judged.
Absolutely. And that's why, when it comes down to it, and a lot of us in the underground say this all the time, that there's quite a few of us that are considered like the elders, or, big brother, big sister, uncle, things such as that in the underground. And of course, big sister here, as a lot of people have heard, she is a big sister and she is here for everybody. And so if you ever want to talk, feel free to hit her up. As well as if anyone wants to come on Reckless and tell your story, please message myself and I will get right back to you, and we will bring you on and we will make a dream into a reality. Because as everyone knows, here's the funniest thing. And even though this might sound like quite a joke, I guess, but so people will come to you and say, can't do that. Well, guess what? We can. We're reckless. We do. So and I am so honored about that, and that means the world. And actually, okay, sorry, okay, well, my brain's kind of scattered for a second. So yeah, so definitely hit us up, and we will turn dream into reality. And now, with that said, unfortunately, we are at the end of our show now. But is there any final words that you want to say to everybody out there?
All I want to say is, hey, much love. And, thank you for letting me be on here and, tell my story and everything. And again, regardless of what it is, whatever disability it is, like I said, you want to vent, you need to talk, or anything of the sort, hit me up anytime. And thank you so, so much for, even doing this. Again, speechless.
Well, hey, like I said, big sister, it's not thank us, honestly. It's thank you for being brave enough, for being so inspiring to want to come on here to help people. You know, we can't thank you enough for that. That just means everything to us. To have you do it right here on Reckless Radio XYZ. You know, this is an international platform. We are on multiple apps worldwide, as well as we broadcast 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So honestly, the world is going to hear this, and we are so thankful for that. So incredibly honored to do it. And so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. Joe,
Thank you for having me.
it's truly an honor.
And if anybody has any more questions about, just epilepsy in general or seizures or hell, even migraines, anything of the sort, hit me up because, I mean, I don't know everything, but I will personally tell you from my experiences.
Right. Well, big sister, thank you so much again for coming on. I know Joe wants to say a couple words before we end here. So Jojo, take it away, man.
Once again, just thank you for coming on, sharing your story with us. And Reckless Radio has always been about the community. The artists bring the community to us, and the community stays with us. So what we can do for the community, we always want to give back. And especially, I see your handle, Twisted Let. Yeah, it fits right in with that with the community, right? And I know you've been supporting all these underground artists and stuff, and Juice talked about you a lot. And once again, thank you for coming and sharing your story.
Thank you.
Oh man, this has been such an honor. And just keep tuning in with us. We have so much more to come for you guys. Has been just such a dream come true. This is Reckless Radio XYZ. We play the music no one else does, and we tell the stories that no one else does. So, big sister, thank you again. And until next time, guys, catch you on the flip side.